Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wall of Power Radio Hour. Happy New Year, everybody. This is your host, Paul Metza. I have a great guest in tonight, a fellow by the name of St. Paul Peterson. He's Paulie to me.
That's right.
And he was instrumental in getting the Wall of Power Radio on the air almost 5 years ago.
I can't believe that.
You were, Paul, instructing out at the Minneapolis Media Institute with our good buddy, Tom Tucker Jr., and you invited me in to start recording my show there, which I did for a year and a half with the great Brad Knauber.
Yes.
So you got a new record coming out, and
man.
And I thought, what a better karmic circle than to bring you back in. We had you on about 3 years ago, but we're going to be talking about your new record, your new gig coming up at the Ice House on January 11th, and your family, you're flying, you're running. You make me feel like a complete biker, Peterson. You're a rocket.
I'm heavily caffeinated.
Yeah, me too. To keep up with you, I'd have to be. Paul Peterson comes from the Peterson family, which is really the first family of Minnesota music. Was a writer and arranger musician at WCCO Radio back in the day, as was his mother, Jeannie, who is a very, very good friend of mine, one of the greatest human beings I've ever met, and just a fabulous piano player, and a close friend of Peggy Lee's, I might add, among others. Right. The family. The five people in the family. Linda Peterson is one of the greatest cabaret singers in the country.
And the first signed from the Peterson family to RCA Records in the 70s.
And she is now, is she down in Florida?
She's the only smart one that goes to Palm Springs in the wintertime.
She has it so figured out.
Totally.
I worked with Linda for a couple of years back at Nice Polonaise Room, and we just loved hanging out on the breaks.
Yeah, she's great.
Billy Peterson, a phenomenal bass player, played with everybody from Steve Miller to Bob Dylan and Ben Sidran. Patty Peterson is a lovely jazz singer. She also hosts a couple of radio shows on KBEM radio. Ricky Peterson has currently been playing with Fleetwood Mac. He's played with everybody from Miles Davis to David Sanborn. And Paul Peterson,
Who?
Yeah, that guy. That guy. He's played with everybody from the family. He's worked with Prince. He was Donny Osmond's band leader for 10 years. He's also played with Kenny Loggins and Peter Frampton. He has a new record out, a new single called You Gotta Love. The CD show is coming up January 11th at the Ice House at 26th and Nicollet.
Right.
You can get tickets at the door. Doors at 10. Shows at 10:30. Advance tickets at icehouseminneapolis.com. You can also find more about Paul and his illustrious history at stpaulmusic.com. Paulie, Happy New Year.
Hey, it's so good to hang with you, man. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, you are a busy guy. I follow you on Facebook, and when you're not playing, recording, putting out records, you fly an airplane.
I do. But 20 years ago, I got my pilot's license, and now I have a friend who is 91 years old, and he is a pilot for something called Angel Flights.
I've heard of that. Tell us more.
So what he does is he gets a call from a patient who needs to go from somewhere like Grand Forks, North Dakota, down to the Mayo Clinic. Instead of making that 9-hour drive, they put in a request for an Angel Flight. So my buddy and I will fly up from Flying Cloud to Grand Forks, pick him up, fly him down to the Mayo, drop him off, then we'll come back home, and when he's ready to come back, we do the same in reverse. And it's so great for these patients, and we've gotten the sweetest letters. And
I bet.
And this 91-year-old pilot is smart.
What's his name?
Why am I having a senior moment? Gordy Lewis. Oh, thank God.
He's more together than you are, Peterson.
I'm telling you, his memory's better than mine. Gordy, how could I forget you? I just saw him 10 minutes ago over at the Edina Noon Rotary. That's where I know him from. And he is just, I want to be him when I grow up.
Wow. Well, the one thing, your family is so multi-talented. I mean, Billy, didn't he win like the national 50 and above speed skating championship years ago?
Willard, as we call him now, is and always has been in great shape, and always was an incredible speed skater from the time he was born. I mean, that was he and my dad did a lot of that together growing up, and he was a world champ. He almost made the Olympic team in 1980.
Wow.
So everyone who was on that team were his buddies.
Right.
So he took me, 15-year-old Paul, out to Lake Placid.
Wow.
We hung out with
Cool.
everybody. I was selling pins and hats,
Nice.
and hanging out, and he was, having fun. We had just a ball. Can you believe my mom actually let me go? They're like, "Oh, he'll be fine. He's with Billy." Ha!
Well, one of the great stories I tell about your mom, Jeannie Peterson, and I think I didn't have your dad passed before I got to know the Peterson family, so I didn't have a chance to know him, but I've heard enough stories to know he was a cool cat.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember Jeannie, this was years ago, I called her up. Somebody called me and said, hey, we need a really good piano player. There's a wedding downtown at the Ivy Hotel. They're going to have a reception, and we need the best piano player in town it's just going to be an hour. It's going to be from 2 to 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday. So I had to call the best piano player in town, so I called your mom, Jeannie.
Right.
And I said, Jeannie, I got a great gig, paid really well. And I said, it's just an hour right downtown. There's a piano there. She says, look. So I gave her the date. She looked at her schedule, and she's 85 years old. And she goes, I love to do it, Paul, but I have 3 gigs that day.
I'm telling you, that woman was on 11 until she passed away.
Oh, she was, and what a marvelous piano player.
Just unreal, man.
Yeah, she swung like a pendulum do.
It was. I play that for people, for people I encounter. It's these big rock stars. And I'm like, you got to understand where I come from. Sit down.
Right.
And I play them Jeannie's harmonics and all the things that she has, and they freak out.
Yeah, it's that
Rightly
good.
so.
It's that good.
She just happened to be my mom.
Yeah.
And she,
Good for you, right?
I hope I got a little bit of that in me. I mean, I did thousands of gigs with her, hoping that I might grab some of that harmony and theory from her. So,
Well, I was there at was it her 90th birthday at the Old Log Theater?
yes,
The other thing that's amazing about you is one of the things I hate about you, Paul, is you're a multi-instrumentalist. I mean, I can handle a guitar and a piano if I've been drinking. But I've seen you play guitar. I've seen you play bass. And on that gig, you were playing drums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the Peterson family gets together, I am the designated drummer.
Yeah.
I am. I grew up playing bebop drums, and then I switched to all the other instruments. So that really is my first love.
Wow. And then Jason Peterson Dallaire, right?
Yep.
Is Linda's son, and
Yep.
he's been on the road with Michael Bolton for several years.
Like 15.
Yeah,
so.
it's like, right. Well, I mean, and the thing about Jason you got to love is that, here I'm in front of the Great Pyramids. Oh, yes, now I'm in Paris. Oh, yes, New York City.
Doing this with his arms up and down. He actually co-wrote and co-produced this new single of mine, You Gotta
Really?
Love. Yeah, the funny thing about him is he grew up on the music I was making with Prince, for the time and the family. He was he's like my little brother, so he's 4 or 5 years younger than me, so he was at that impressionable age, so he absorbed everything like that. So fast forward 35 years, 40 years, he's like, Uncle, come up to the north side and let's make some funk in my basement. So he's he's over north. He's like, get out of the suburbs, dude.
Yeah, right.
Let's make some funk, and that's exactly what we did with You Gotta Love. He put together some grooves, and I went, oh, I like that one. Let's work on that. So we marinated on this song for probably, I don't even want to admit how long it was, but it was quite a while because we wanted to get it right, and we also wanted to put a positive message forth. But the challenge with having a positive message and a funky track is that sometimes the two don't go together. Could be cheesy, so we were really...
Unless you're Stevie Wonder.
True, which I'm not. Let's just clarify something.
Okay.
But, we put our best foot forward, and we really think we got something that's cool and positive and especially important in the day and age we're living in.
Well, and the more positive messages in music, the better, as far as I'm concerned. We've got Paul Peterson in the studio. He's got a CD release party coming up on January 11th at the Ice House, a great venue.
Killer. I love it.
At
Right
20
across the street from my studio.
Yeah, 26 in
Oh, yeah.
Nicollet, right across from Creation Audio, where our good buddy Steve Weiss has held for
Hi,
3
Steve.
years.
Oh, yeah.
I had Steve on. It was great, just the history of that studio. I mean, Dave Dudley, the Trashmen, Husker Du, the Replacements.
Jeannie Peterson.
Yeah, I did some work down there, too.
I did my first record there in 1985 when I left Prince.
Wow.
I did, in the room that John Fields in.
Yeah.
I spent 8 months every day in that room.
Strawberry Fields Forever. We got about 30 seconds. Tell us who else is on this track from your new single, You Gotta Love, by St. Paul Peterson.
I'm playing 90% of the instruments on there, but I have Jason doing a lot of the programming on there. Ricky played a keyboard part on there as well, and then John Strawberry Fields mixed it.
The A-Team.
Yeah, not bad, right?
St. Paul Peterson on for the whole show tonight on the Wallop Hour Radio Hour. First show of 2019. We're going to listen to You Gotta Love.
Hey, positivity is coming right on time. You got to trade negativity from everyone on your side. You got to close all the doors, 'cause love opens more. You see, you will see. Time is a thief, so let me say there's some great and take some good advice. You got to live, you got to learn, you got to love. You got to live, you got to learn, you got to love. What I'm talking about. People are what's gonna try to get underneath your skin. Divide and conquer,
The number one source of the Twin Cities gay scene is all digital. Follow Twin Cities Gay Scene on Facebook and Twitter. Sign up for the Scene Shot email blast for weekly updates and chances to win great prizes. No app is needed to view the bi-weekly web editions of Scene. It's GLBTQ media for the mobile generation. Find it all at TwinCitiesGayScene.com. That's TwinCitiesGayScene.com.
Considering replacing your vacuum? What do you do with the old one? Throw it in the garage? Worse yet, throw it in the garbage? How about trade it in and save? A1 Vacuum in Roseville has been around forever, and they take trade-ins. When you trade in your old vacuum, you save. So if it's time to replace that old clunker headed for the garage or landfill, bring it into A1 Vacuum in Roseville. You can find A1 Vacuum at a-1vacuum.com or call 651-222-6316.
With all the convenient big box stores that sell appliances, why do so many Minnesotans choose Warner Stellian? Check online to learn that Warner Stellian is a Minnesota family-owned business for over 60 years. Warner Stellian sells more brands than anyone else, and our passionate specialists are committed to impressing you so much that you'll refer us to everyone you know. That's our mission here at Warner Stellian. Ask around, check us out online, and when it's your time to buy appliances, join over 300,000 Minnesota homeowners and choose the specialists, Warner Stellian.
Hi, I'm Matt McNeil, and I want to encourage you to join me weekday afternoons at 3 p.m. for the Matt McNeil Show. It's a Twin Cities-based full hour of talk where we discuss what's going on in the state and in the nation from a Minnesota perspective. We'll be joined by a lot of great guests, and we'll take your phone calls. Interact with us on the Twitter page, at Matt McNeil Show, the Facebook page, Progressive Citizen X, The Matt McNeil Show, and on email. Comment at am950radio.com. The Matt McNeil Show, weekday afternoons at 3 right here on AM 950.
Hi, this is Laura, and I want to tell you about my family's favorite thing. It's our wood stove. We bought it about 14 years ago from Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. And see, the wood stove has actually paid for itself because we can keep the main area that we live in toasty warm with this great moist heat. But more important than saving money, it has actually improved our lives. Having a fire simplifies life. It provides comfort. It sort of takes the chill out of winter.
I'm Peter Solak. In 1977, I started Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, and I experienced the simple joy of warming myself by a fire. I also realized that the place and the way we embrace fire has evolved in a diversity of forms and styles. So at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we have brought together the widest selection of our fireplace products and technical knowledge in the Twin Cities. Our mission is to use our knowledge to help you choose the design and function that is right for you and your home.
Visit Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces today and find the right fire for you.
Welcome back to the Wall of Power Radio Hour. First show of 2019. I'm your host, Paul Metz, and my guest in the studio for the whole show, the multi-talented St. Paul Peterson.
Hello.
How'd you get the name St. Paul Peterson? Because you're from Minneapolis.
I know it's a tangled web, right? When the short stories, Prince gave it to me.
That's bad. Not
Bye-bye.
bad.
No. And I was just thinking about this on the way over here. He didn't necessarily, I think he named it after the city. He thought it sounded cool when it rolled off his tongue.
Yeah.
So he dubbed me St. Paul.
Yeah.
So I went, oh, that's cool. But my mom was like, I'm a Catholic and I want you to live up to that name and not sing those ishy, she would call them ishy lyrics. I don't want Prince to make you sing ishy lyrics. You're going to be called St. Paul. And she didn't really sound like that.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, Prince gave me that name. I have toyed with getting rid of it. I've toyed, people know me as Paul Peterson. People know me as St. Paul. People know me as St. Paul Peterson.
Yeah.
Now, there's a kid out there who didn't evidently check to see if I was still alive and still using the name. So there's a kid by the name of St. Paul and the Broken Bones using my name. So, hey, I ain't dead yet, bro. That's right. I'm still alive. Check out the track.
And you get some tough brothers, too.
Right. My big brother gonna take you, man.
So when did you meet Prince, and when did you start working with him? And tell us all about the family and that whole purple era.
Oh, good God. So I was in high school playing gigs all the time with my sisters and my brother-in-law, Stuart Pastor, and I graduated.
Stuart was a musician?
Stuart's a drummer.
I didn't know that.
Totally.
I just thought he was eye candy for Patty as a husband.
Yeah, well, he is that as well. He's multi-talented.
Yeah, he's a good cat.
I love him. He's one of my biggest advocates. He's just such a cheerleader for everyone in the Peterson family.
Absolutely.
So it pertains to that as well. So playing throughout high school with him and Patty, Linda, Mom, whomever. Excuse me. And then I graduated, went up to Breezy Point, got a phone call from Stuart that says, hey, Paul, come home right now. You got an audition with the time. I'm like, what? His first cousin is Bobby Z.
Wow.
Right?
No, I didn't know that either.
Oh, yeah. David Z, Bobby Z, Stevie Rifkin, all those guys. That's his first cousin. So
the Mafia.
Totally.
Yeah.
So evidently, he got wind that they were looking for someone to replace Jimmy Jam or Monty Moyer when Prince fired them.
Right.
That famous story. So here I am, the 17-year-old kid just graduated from the Academy of the Holy Angels, playing golf and being naughty with one of my best friends up at Breezy Point. So I came home, cut my vacation short.
You were pure as the driven snow, but you drifted.
I did. Oh, can I use that? I like that.
Hell yeah.
I like that. So I came home, and there was supposed to be a cassette waiting for me so I could prepare for a few days.
To show just to put it in the correct time, a cassette.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely a cassette, but it did not show up. It showed up the night before I was supposed to have the audition.
Wow.
So I had to sing and learn, I don't even remember how many songs. Many songs.
Yeah.
Memorize it, be able to play the keyboard parts, try to look cool, which was very impossible in those days. I was
You were pretty
lanky.
damn cute, though, Paul. I remember that first album cover.
Oy, oy, oy. Yeah, we should put a string of them together and look at the different hairdos I had because it's comical. So I went in, I auditioned, and it went well. I went home, got a phone call to come back.
So who was at the audition?
Jesse Johnson, Gary, or Jellybean Johnson, I believe Jerome, everybody but Morris.
Okay.
Right. So there were other people auditioning for the keyboard chairs as well, and the bass chair, because Terry was fired as well.
Okay.
Do you remember Rocky Garrity?
I remember that name, yeah.
So
Who did he play with?
Well, he, I don't know before this, but he was originally the bass player to replace Terry in The Time.
Right.
Back in '83. Until he didn't show up for the film on time and got fired the very same day, and Jerry Hubbard stepped in.
Ouch.
Ouch, man. So anyway, the second audition.
Is Prince like Prince in the control room monitoring all this?
This is a friggin' warehouse on Highway 7 that I think housed dog food for a really long time. But here we are set up in there, and The second audition or the callback, he was there. He listened to me play. He came up to me, and he did this thing that he made famous in Under the Cherry Moon, this famous thing. He wrote on a piece of paper to break the ice the words wreck, W-R-E-C-K, the letter A, and the word stow, S-T-O-W. He said, say it. I went, wreck, stow? He said, what is it? And I'm like, I don't know. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
He said, say it faster. I went, wreck a stow? He said, what is it? I said, I don't know. He said, where do you buy your records? Say it again.
Record store.
So whether he pulled that on me for the very first
Right.
time, who knows? But it was his way of breaking the ice, telling me that I got the gig. We went and picked out swatches for the movie Purple Rain right after that. I picked out a beautiful black pinstriped suit. And he went, you'll never be noticed in that. Proceeded to give me an orange pinstripe suit that you see now on that album cover.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how it all started.
So what was, when did you start to feel comfortable with it? Because, I mean, that's got to be daunting. You know, you get the message from Prince and all those guys, all those great players. You know, Prince is developing a major head of steam. So what year was this, like?
83.
Yeah, so I was going to guess 83.
The year I graduated from high school.
So when did you start to feel comfortable with it and go, I got a great new gig here?
Oh, dude, probably during the filming of the movie, which was, much later.
And you're still going to high school at the time?
No, I had graduated.
Okay.
I had graduated, but I was out of my element.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Peterson family grew up playing funk, F-U-N-K. That's what I'm saying, by the way, funk, and R&B. Right, that was our thing. That was our genre of choice. That's what we were attracted to. So we were listening to Farrell Black on KMOJ, and we loved that. So it wasn't a foreign genre to us.
Right.
However, the discipline that Prince had was different than the jazz discipline that we had. Right. So I had to quickly learn what that James Brown / Prince rehearsal discipline was. That I was comfortable for quite a while, until I got the hang of it. And then I knew that I could cover the parts, do what I had to do, play and look a certain way, dance a certain way. You had to really kind of conform to that society, if you would. You know, it was certainly it's not a cult. It was a camp.
Yeah.
Right? It was the Prince camp.
And a family, too, right?
You would be surprised how many people still stay in touch before he died, of course, after he's died. They're some of my dearest friends in the world.
This is my guest, Paul Peterson, St. Paul Peterson, singing with the family a Prince penned tune that we all know and love, Nothing Compared to You. We'll have Paulie on for the whole show on the Wall of Power.
It's been 7 hours and 13 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whomever I choose.
Rudy Luther Toyota has a great selection of new vehicles, but Rudy Luther is also one of the largest volume Toyota certified used vehicle dealers in the country. They have better prices than many non-certified dealers, and they offer a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty, feature incredibly low interest rates, and all their vehicles go through a comprehensive inspection and reconditioning process. And right now, they're paying top dollar for your trade-in, even if you don't buy from them. Rudy Luther Toyota, the southeast corner of 394 and 169 in Golden Valley.
Victor's 1959 Cafe in South Minneapolis is a locally owned and operated restaurant offering traditional Cuban food. Open for breakfast and lunch daily with dinner Tuesday through Saturday. For night shift workers, Victor's even has both a morning and evening happy hour, and Victor's now accepts dinner reservations too. Stop in and try some delicious authentic Cuban cuisine like ropa vieja and seafood paella. Make your reservation and learn more at victors1959cafe.com. Victor's 1959 Cafe, revolutionary Cuban cooking.
I'm Connie Bjork, co-host of Awakened Living Infusion radio show. Join Michelle Kitzmiller and I as we focus on all aspects of health, wellness, spirituality, and growth from a mind, body, spirit, emotion perspective. On the Awakened Living radio show, we will discuss stress, self-care, fear, happiness, beliefs, communication, joy, pain, trauma, and more. Join us for the Awakened Living Infusion radio show Saturdays at 10 a.m. Let us share with you ways to infuse vitality into life.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been telling you about my friends at Snap Construction, who are arguably the most well-reviewed exterior construction company in the metro. Don't just take my word for it. Take a look at all their reviews online. Winter is the most cost-effective time of the year to complete your construction project. A majority of Minnesotans choose to have their work completed on their home in the summer when they should be enjoying the weather. As a result, the demand for labor in the summer is much higher. The most cost-effective way to improve or restore your home is in the winter due to the lower demand. Right now, Snap Construction is offering an additional 30% off of labor to the AM 950 listeners on your next construction project between now and the end of February. Call 612-333-SNAP and mention AM 950 for an additional 30% off. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
The fine folks at Common Good Books will help you find the perfect book for you or the book lover in your life. Find a huge selection from a locally owned and independent bookseller in the Twin Cities. They are always bringing in top authors from around the globe for special in-store events. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Find Common Good Books at 38 South Snelling Avenue in St. Paul or shop online at commongoodbooks.com.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Eric Nelson. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low around 24. Sunday, cloudy with a high near 36 and a low around 27. Monday, a 30% chance of rain before 9 a.m. with a high of 40 and a low around 20. AM 950 is brought to you by Eat Local Minnesota. Work away from the usual and find a list of one-of-a-kind local restaurants at eatlocalminnesota.com. From elegant to casual, exotic to comfort food, they've got everything and more. Find the full list of incredible nearby restaurants at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wall of Power, a radio hour. I'm your host, Paul Metza. My guest for the whole show tonight, kicking off 2019, one of the best musicians in town from one of the greatest musical families, St. Paul Peterson.
And it's so cool to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Well, now, like I said at the top of the show, people are just joining us. You were kind enough to bring me into the Minneapolis Media Institute with a young 18-year-old engineer named Brad Knaber. And that's
one of my students.
Yes, and that's where we started taping the Wall of Power Radio Hour 5 years ago, beginning of April.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's off
the former Flight Time Studios. Yeah. Let's put it in perspective for your listeners. That's where Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis produced now Hall of Famer, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
In those very same rooms that you started the show at.
And Michael did a couple appearances, I believe. Michael Jackson
he did.
stopped in.
So many stars, Boys to Men. I mean, unbelievable. And unfortunately now they're tearing down that school or that building, and I'm sick over it.
Tearing down Paradise to put up a parking lot.
How's that go? That's a song. You should sing that.
You know, the amazing thing was I been lucky enough over 5 years. I have almost, Paul, you'll be impressed, almost 200 shows in the can.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And a lot of great musicians that aren't with us anymore, like Billy Hallquist and Lonnie Knight and great sound guy Monty Wilkes. One of the things I love is that I'm capturing some of this, not only Minnesota history, but good cultural history from around the country. So when I'd have cool musicians that would come from out of town, I said, meet me at the Minneapolis Media Institute. Then when I told them this was Flight Time Studios, they were just knocked out.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm happy that I could help you in those days, and it's fun to come full circle and be here with you today.
Well, that's kind of the beauty, and you can speak to this as much as anybody in town. What a really incredible music community the Twin Cities is.
It's unreal from, every single generation, including the up-and-coming generations. There are some incredible 15 to 19-year-old players. Dylan Sulphur, Isaac Levy.
Phenomenal.
Right? Bennett V.
Yep, know all these guys.
These kids, I want to play with and have them in my band. I just didn't have time to do it this time.
Yeah.
These guys are nuts.
Well, I did a record that we're going to start promoting again here called Ain't Gonna Whistle Dixie Anymore. It's my anti-Nazi tune, and I recorded it with Willie Walker on lead vocals and the Sounds of Blackness. And we started doing the basic tracks at the High School for the Recording Arts.
Sure.
And just to see, and I had a young rapper named Royal Smith, 18 years old, totally nailed it. So I got a chance to hang out for several afternoons over there. Scotty Harrell with Rock the Cause Records.
He's helping me with this release, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's the cat.
I love him.
Yeah, but just to see those young kids over there,
right,
getting into their rap thing and their producing thing and their music business thing.
Yeah,
it's by the time you and I are in the old folkies home
this time next year.
Yeah, right. But talk about some of the great people you've had the pleasure to play with. Like I said in the opening, Paul Peterson, Kenny Loggins, Peter Frampton, Donny Osmond. Tell us some more people that's not on the list that I mentioned.
Oh God. Probably one of my favorite musical moments in my life was at Paisley Park. My brother Ricky was staff producer there, but he brought in a client with this great jazz producer by the name of Tommy LaPuma.
Wow.
Right? He brought in a little guy by the name of George Benson.
Wow.
So Ricky was in charge of hiring the rhythm section. Of course, nepotism at its finest. He hired me for bass. But Michael Bland on drums, and I played some guitar. Of course, Ricky on keyboards and Tom Tucker behind the board.
The great Tom Tucker.
Yes.
I did my first single with Tom Tucker at Metro Sound in 1985. I was the very first artist in that studio, and I worked with Tucker for years.
Yeah.
Iowa boy, right?
Oh, yeah.
But one of the greatest sets of ears I've ever worked with.
Ever.
And then did he end up at Paisley Park too?
Oh, he was running Paisley Park
right,
in the
that's
90s.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Not just that session with Ricky, but
no, he was like the studio manager over there. And then when that went by the wayside, I think he went over and we had a partnership, Ricky, myself, a few other people, and Tom, then started Master Mix Studios down in the Warehouse District, where IPR was. Right. So we did that, and then
I had a rehearsal space down in that building.
Oh gosh, I remember those dungeons, man.
Right, right next to the Replacements.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's gotta hurt.
But
now.
I mean, you're going after a gig, especially like a New Year's Eve, and it was such a hang. There'd be some of the Replacements, some of the Suburbs, ipso facto, you guys.
Crazy.
Well, we were all young cats,
right? We were kicking butt and hanging out, and we were owning the town.
Yeah. So now, who have you bumped into? Not necessarily played with, because you've traveled the world and bumped into. And you go, yeah, I know your brother Ricky.
Everyone, let's get something clear. Everyone knows my brother.
Right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Actually, at this NAMM show convention that I'm going to, I just usually go, I'm Ricky Peterson's brother.
Yeah, right.
Let's get this over with. I'm Ricky Peterson's brother.
Right.
Because it's St. Paul, and they're like, yeah, that's great. Ricky Peterson's brother. Oh, man, what's going on? It's tough being the little brother.
I always used to run into Ricky at Art Songs, 38th and Nicollet. Best chicken wings in town.
You know that there's the Art Songs recipe is moved to St. Paul.
No, where?
It's off of University, and it's it'll come to me. I don't have it on the tip of my tongue.
When Ricky's back in town?
Yeah, he's here. Right now.
Well, let's get a play date with the three of us and do some wings.
Oh man! Every time Oliver Lieber comes, who's a great guitar player, my dear friend, he makes me take him from the airport 2 art songs.
And the incredible rice, too, whatever that...
Yeah, it's all the same seasoning on that really greasy, beautiful rice and hojos.
I'm getting hungry.
We're going there after the show. But that 38th and Nicholas spot was a hangout for musicians after the gig, too.
Yeah, it was open till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Thank God, because then we get some food to ward away the Heinekens we'd consumed back in those days.
Well, I remember in the early 80s, Paulie, I did 5 nights in a row.
Oh, yeah.
Back then I was doing 5 or 6 nights a week in the clubs, 5 nights in a row in art songs. On the 6th day, I started to have this back spasm, and I called a friend of mine who was a massage therapist. I said, Lisa, you got to come over here. I threw my back out. By the time she came over, I could barely stand up. She drove me downtown to HCMC. I'm not lying. I walked into the emergency room at HCMC on my hands and knees because I couldn't stand up. Finally, had found out that I had kidney stones. That I'm not saying it was 5 nights at Art Songs.
It's okay. They're not in business.
But it couldn't help. So tell us a little bit about before you and I could talk all day.
I know it.
But tell us about who's playing with you on January 11th at the Ice House. Ice House, of course, 26th in Nicollet. St. Paul Peterson CD release party for his new single, You Got Love. Doors at 10.
You got 2 Love, man. Come on, we got to get it right.
You got 2 Love, and then shows at 10:30.
Yep.
Tickets through IcehouseMinneapolis.com. Who's with you that night?
I've got Jason Peterson Delaire, who is my nephew, who is my co-writer and co-producer on this song. Super funky. He's playing keys and sax, and of course singing.
You know what? That's the other thing about Jason. He is a marvelous singer.
He is so great.
Yeah.
His own stuff is killer.
Yeah.
Just great. So, and also we've got Joe Finger on drums.
Oh.
My dearest buddy in the world's flying in from Las Vegas to do the gig. And we've got Odell on guitar.
Cool.
From Mint Condition and NPG.
Wow.
So it's a powerful 4-piece. Plus, we got videos going behind me that we're syncing up to my old videos.
Nice.
It's really, really cool. Ryan Lance from the Blenders is brilliant in programming, and he's helping out with that whole AV show that I've got. It's really cool, man. And what a great club to hear live music at.
Yeah, they treat the musicians well. I actually taped, I've got a TV show called Wall of Power TV, which is on, if you have Comcast, you can get it on Channel 6 on Saturday nights at 8 and 11:30 p.m., or you can stream it from mcn6.org. But we taped a show with Adam Levy down there.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
And his brother Noah, man. What a great family. And then Isaac coming up. Another great Minnesota musical family.
You know what's one of the things, I moved to town 40 years ago as just a child actor at the age of 5. And
right.
But, I spent a year and a half in New York. I always stayed in Minneapolis because I wanted to be close to my folks, and they both passed, and I'm glad I was. But you look around, not only is there this treasure trove of great musicians, but I called my buddy Lauren Wicklander the other day, one of the greatest live sound guys in town, and I'm good friends with Greg Iman and all the others, Tom Garneau. We all grew up, and we were all kids at one time, but not only is there a great music scene, but I think Minneapolis, St. Paul has one of the greatest wealth of sound guys, sound technicians, and studio engineers.
Totally. Rob Cubby Colby.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And
really.
You've worked with a lot of them.
I have.
And we've got to mention our buddy Steve Weiss. There's nobody better than him.
Well, Ricky and I and another partner rent a room down at Creation. We have on and off for 30 years. So we see him almost every day.
And what I love about Steve, he's a good lefty, and he's got an AM 950 sticker in his
He sure does, yeah.
And he does. We do every year, we do the Blue State Ball celebration fundraiser for AM 950. I think this year is going to be, Hunter, do you know what it's like in March?
First Saturday in March.
Yeah. And so Steve Weiss always does the live sound for that.
Oh, that's great.
So we are going to listen. We've got my good buddy St. Paul Peterson in the studio. We're going to be listening to a song you sang called Come Together. Tell us, where was that recorded and how did that come about?
Well, this is the group, The Family, 25 years later. We rebranded called F Deluxe because Prince wouldn't let us use the name The Family.
Right.
This is a covers record we did through Pledge Music, and it was all fan funded. And this is our take, the Minneapolis funk version of the Beatles' classic, Come Together.
We'll listen to it, and then we'll be back for one more set with St. Paul Peterson on the Wall of Power, a radio hour.
Head down to his knees. I got to be a joker. He just do what he please. Just do what he please. He wear no shoe shine, toe jam football. He got monkey finger. He shoot Coca-Cola. He said, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you got to be free. Come together right now over me. Over for me. Over me. He got production, he got walrus gumbo, he got oh no sidewalk, he got smile, no cracker, he got feet down below his knee. Hold you in his armchair, you can feel his disease. Come together right now over me.
The number one source of the Twin Cities gay scene is all digital. Follow Twin Cities Gay Scene on Facebook and Twitter. Sign up for the Scene Shot email blast for weekly updates and chances to win great prizes. No app is needed to view the bi-weekly web editions of Scene. It's GLBTQ media for the mobile generation. Find it all at TwinCitiesGayScene.com. That's TwinCitiesGayScene.com.
What kind of a jackass would let an animal pick their insurance? Did you really think a lizard could save you money on car insurance? Would you let a duck pick your health policy? Insurance can be a zoo, but this is ridiculous. What you really need is an insurance agent that isn't looking out for the insurance companies. You need Cheryl at Array, an independent agent with 30 years experience looking for the best rate possible. Quit monkeying around and call 763-504-3067. That's 763-504-3067 for Cheryl at Array, representing you, not the insurance companies.
Total Dog Company exists for people who are serious about their dogs. People who want the best nutrition and the best gear for their dogs. Total Dog Company's mission is to provide high-quality, practical food and gear for dogs and only dogs. Nothing frou-frou or frivolous. Nothing with suspect ingredients. No cat food or wild bird food. Totally dog, from head to wagging tail. Find us in New Hope off of 169 at 9432 36th Avenue North and at TotalDogCompany.com.
Atheists Talk is the radio show for free-thinking Minnesotans. Listen on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. Every Sunday we bring you science, philosophy, politics, and plain old fun from an atheist point of view. Visit our website at minnesotaatheists.org for more details. Tune in to Atheists Talk Radio Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock on KTNF AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. It's good radio without the good book.
Seward Co-op, serving the community for nearly 45 years, invites you to shop their two convenient locations, both offering the strong commitment to local producers and healthy foods you've come to expect. Seward focuses on locally grown and raised products, fair trade, and environmental sustainability. Shop their selection of meats, artisan cheeses, and house-made baked goods. Find Seward at 2823 East Franklin Avenue or the Friendship Store on 38th Street and 3rd Avenue in Minneapolis. More at seward.coop.
Visit the wine bar at Cafe Latte and enjoy a unique handcrafted pizza and glass of wine. The perfect place for an intimate night or an evening with friends. Choices range from spicy Italian sausage and sweet roasted peppers to the one-of-a-kind nacho chicken pizza layered with blue corn tortilla chips. The approachable wine list offers over 30 by the glass with special emphasis on wines from Washington State. End your night with one of Cafe Latte's melt-in-your-mouth desserts. 850 Grand Avenue, St. Paul.
Welcome back to the Wall of Power Radio Hour. This is your host, Paul Metza. We just heard a little bit of a great version of I Can't Make You Love Me, the Bonnie Raitt tune, by my guest daughter, my guest St. Paul Peterson, his daughter, the lovely Jean Taylor. Man, does she have some serious
Doesn't she sing great? And the legacy continues.
What is it about the Petersons? I mean, what is it? Where's
We
the
kill
genie in
people
the
who
bottle?
don't get into the music business. Like, you're not good at what? Oh, come with me.
So what's your daughter doing? She's out in L.A., right?
She's out there trying to make her way through this crazy thing called the music business, and she's got everything she needs.
Yeah.
You know, she's got the talent, she's got the drive, and now she just needs to put in the time.
Right.
And that's what she's doing. Dropped her off yesterday morning and
Nice.
cried a little bit. And
Well, yeah.
my baby.
Is that your only child?
No, I have two. Kelly's a great singer as well. She is running a Spanish immersion preschool in Edina. She's absolutely fluent in Spanish and loves kids, and she's got her dream job.
Wow.
Yeah, and
What is
we've
your-
been hanging out all over the holidays, and it's been wonderful. Man.
And you've been married for how long?
28. It'll be 29 this year.
Your wife's a saint.
No, I thought I was the same. Wait a minute, hold on. She puts up with my you know what, and
Yeah.
I met her in high school over at
What's
the
her name?
Academy of the
What's
Holy
her name?
Angels. What's her name again? Julie Peterson.
Wow.
If she is a saint, I tell you what, man. Here's what's cool is that she has supported me in what I do and what I've done since day one.
Right.
And some of the younger musicians around town they'll go, how can you survive? How can you raise a family? How can you still be in love? How can you trust each other? And these different things that come up, the real life stuff that means something.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, look, you got to find the right partner. And you're right. It's all about trust. It's all about love. It's all about the unsaid things that you know that you'll do for each other. You got to have each other's back. I'm out on the road. Julie takes care of the kids. I'm back. Paul takes care of the kids.
Right.
We just maneuver the chess pieces around the board to make sure that we're winning whenever possible.
And you and I've talked about it before. You mentioned it when you got to the studio tonight that you've been sober for 20 years.
I have. It's supposed to be a secret.
Well,
I guess it's out now.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, I think it's something to be proud of because that's the reason why you're running marathons, you're flying airplanes, you're traveling around the world. I mean, you are one of the most productive human beings I've ever met.
I don't think I would be as productive if I was. I probably still would. I wouldn't be married. I can tell you that. So
okay, there you go.
No, I'm really proud of my sobriety. I've never talked publicly about it, but it is something that is super important to me. And you have to kind of relearn how to have fun. But just ask my family. I'm not in my right state of mind ever. So I know how to have fun. I miss the hangs, but I don't miss the hangover.
Right, there you go. Well, and I didn't mean to bring this out of the closet for you, but I do.
No, it's all good, man. I think now's a good time to talk about it. Why not?
Yeah, and it's the first of the year. I've had my problems with this and that over the years, and it's something a guy like me that still making his living in the saloons. You got to come to grips with it and get a handle on it, or you die.
Well, it certainly can consume you, and it is cheesy as it sounds, an occupational hazard.
Yeah.
It's part of the socialization that we have as musicians. Oh, we had a great gig. Let's have a cocktail. Hey, we're playing 6 nights a week in a bar. Let's have a cocktail.
We've had a terrible gig. Let's have a cocktail.
Totally. I mean, it's just it is what it is, and you do have to have a handle on it. And I believe a lot of it is unfortunately passed down in your genes as well.
Yeah.
You can be more susceptible to that kind of addiction if it's in your genes.
Right.
So, of course, I get the warning to my kids. They don't want to hear that. They're 23 and whatever. They're like, yeah, Dad, okay, great. Love ya. I'm like, okay. Just trying to save you some time here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Paul, you've got what are your goals now in 2019? I mean, you probably have a laundry list of things you want to get done.
Well, 2019 is already starting off really, really cool. I can't divulge who I'm about to go to work with, but I was a little late today because I was on a phone call with a R&B icon, and I'm leaving January 12th to go work with him for a week. See if we can get along. And, as soon as I see the plane ticket and I actually do some work, I'll let you on who it is, because it could all change in 5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's exciting for me to get a little pat on the back from someone that I've looked up to forever. And it's super weird to talk to someone like that on the phone.
Wow.
It's like, hello, I just got to get this fanboy thing out of the way for a minute. I love you, man. I've always loved you. Okay, so let's talk business.
Yeah,
so
right.
that's really cool. And then I'm playing at the NAMM show coming up, which is a great music convention out in Orange County.
Yeah.
With Kat Perkins.
Wow.
Playing with
cool.
her. And then, the purpose of putting new music out is to go play it for the people.
Right.
So I've got a great team around me locally here. Jackie Thompson, might remember, was running Paisley Park for a period of time, and my niece Vanessa Dallaire, they're project managers on this. And my manager in Australia, Neil Richards, helps me travel the world, which is always fun. I do a lot of work in Australia.
Wow.
So hopefully more of that and more travel to Europe to spread the good news, man, about...
You're working with the Scotty Harold from Rock House Records on this as well.
He's such a smart dude and bends over backwards to make sure that everything is done right.
He's a real gentleman.
God, I mean, he has done so much for me. And originally I hired him to do radio and stuff for my daughter, Jean Taylor. And then I called him about 3 weeks ago. I'm like, I need your help again. And he's like, I'm here. I got you.
Right.
So we've had great luck. And then, this team by the name of BOME, B-O-M-E, bunch of young kids, European kids, did my video and my photo shoot.
Nice.
Let the kids do it. I said, make the old buck look good. So we got a music video coming out as well. It should be up already on the intro nets. So go to stpaulmusic.com. It's all over Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. But just in case you want to know, my Instagram is St. Paul Peterson. Same for Facebook is St. Paul fan page. Twitter is St. Paul Peterson. But,
What's your Instagram?
St. Paul Peterson.
Snapchat?
Snapchat, I only do is make faces on Snapchat.
You are slacking, Peterson.
I have it, but I don't utilize it. Plus, I only have, I have no free time anymore since I've got to try to do all that stuff.
Oh, I was hanging with my nephew, Jordan Metza, who is Rick Nolan's press secretary over the holidays, and he sat me down and said, UP, for Uncle Paul, I said, we're going to talk hashtag.
Uh-huh. Hashtag
Paul,
you got to love. That's what I'm hashtagging.
You got to love. St. Paul Peterson. He will be at CD release party January 11th at the Ice House. Tickets at icehouseminneapolis.com. Paulie, good luck.
Thank you, brother.
2019.
Really, really fun to hang with you guys.
Best of luck.
Thank you so much. Please come and see me.
Thanks a lot. All right. Thanks for listening to the Wall of Power Radio Hour. This is your host, Paul Metza, and producer Hunter Haas was engineered. Happy 2019 to everybody out there. Follow me at paulmetza.com. Wall of Power TV every Saturday night at mcn6.org at 8 and 11:30 p.m. And like my dad used to tell me, remember to be kind and make someone happy.